My name is Mark Caban, and I am the founder of Youth and Leaders Living Actively, also known as YALLA San Diego.
One, two, three, Yalla!
The spark of why I wanted to start YALLA and start the soccer program and our program was my experience working with the wider community. I always volunteered, coached, and I see how important that it is for children and for youth to really have confidence. Across the board in El Cajon, you go down to the city when I was working with the families, and you literally see hundreds of kids just running around El Cajon in the streets, unsupervised, acting in aggressive ways with one another, and having no structure. So I really felt at that point that sports, and especially soccer, which is what these kids love, was really essential for them to have that social emotional gap bridged for them. This idea really took off organically. It was a group of people that got together that were really passionate about bringing activities to the refugees of El Cajon. So after we put together the first team, I went down to the established relationship with the district and the teachers. I spoke to 30 refugee children. They did their applications, and I was excited to see what they had to write and why they wanted to play and the enthusiasm that they showed. And I was also surprised and enchanted by the girls that wanted to play. The girls are very empowered, and they knew that they could do these same things. So I was very happy to give them the equal chance. YALLA's program is it's a holistic approach to dealing with these children. We're definitely bringing them in with soccer, but that's not all that we're teaching them. We're teaching them how to empower themselves, how to express themselves, because during school, they have to be in the quiet role because they don't speak the language, and they feel like they have nothing to offer. But when they come out with us and YALLA in our program, they all of a sudden they're showing us their leadership. They're showing us what they have to offer as an individual, and not just as a refugee, but as one person, what they have to bring to the table. The glue that's bringing our program together is soccer, and that's the focal point because that's what these children really want. So we put together the first team, and we would practice at a local park. And from then, like wildfire, the whole community found out about this one YALLA team. And so I had kids from all age levels coming up to me after practice, and oftentimes during practice, inquiring how can they get on this team, because they saw that we were a group of kids from Iraq and that we were doing something positive. And that alone was the law of attraction. Everyone in the community that was striving for that positivity came to us, and we didn't even have to reach out to them after the first team. The U.S. has resettled around more than 50,000 refugees from Iraq, and it's stunning to know that over half of those have been in our San Diego. They all come from different backgrounds. The majority is Chaldean, which is actually the minority in Iraq, and Kurdish. We have Sunni, and we also have Palestinians that are going to be acclimated into our program as well, or involved in our program. The second wave of refugees from this 2003 war have essentially joined the rest of the diaspora here in El Cajon. They establish a community, they have relatives, they have connections. So naturally, they're coming to a strange land in a strange place. El Cajon is the least of the strangest places that they could come. What I've seen with the youth in El Cajon, the refugees, is that they really want a positive environment, because from the beginning of the war, at a young age, they've seen their country destroyed. They've seen their neighborhoods collapsed. Everything that they've ever known has been gone. And their parents are in disbelief. I asked parents, did you ever think this would happen? And they would be like, never in their wildest imagination that they would ever have to lead this refugee lifestyle. And so the refugees are going through negativity of leaving their country, of being in another country and finally ending up in the US, where everyone around them is unemployed, is going through very difficult situations. So often they don't have a positive environment. So that's why they're running to our program, and I was happy to accept them. They're coming together, a group that went through so much hardship, and they're finally having success together. And that's incredibly empowering for these kids. Because all of a sudden when they see their fellow refugees, they're thinking, that's my YALLA soccer teammate, a kid that I'm working hard with every day and that I'm winning soccer games with, instead of having the negative relations of going through war and being a refugee. I was really surprised about how much the kids loved being part of YALLA. It was all of a sudden an identity for them, a positive identity for them, that they were more than willing to grasp onto. Youth and Leaders Living Actively was giving that name because we're working with the youth, but the leaders are the community members. And they're the ones that are going to be the driving force behind what we're doing. And without them, we wouldn't be YALLA. Without the community, we couldn't reach out to these children and give these children the opportunity to have success in their new homes. Originally, YALLA's objective was to have a tutoring program as well as soccer. But in the beginning, we wanted to be more pragmatic and to focus on one thing. So naturally, we chose soccer because we felt that there was a great way that we can incorporate education into soccer. And we thought that there might be curriculums out there that already had teaching English and language through sports, but we found out that there really wasn't. So we took on the challenge to create our own curriculum that we're very proud of and we feel is very effective. When we warm up with the children, we have a warm-up that they do stretches, and we come into a circle. In that circle, we go over math. Like each week we go over multiplication, division, counting on intervals of 5, 6s, 7s, and 8s. And each couple weeks we concentrate on one number. So we think that it's, for the time being, that it's very effective for these kids to go over the basics of multiplication and division, and to go over language. We go over vocabulary, and this is all during our stretch time before practice starts. So we really feel like we're, hitting two birds with one stone. We're really getting the foundations of the kids sharpened, and they feel comfortable doing it because we're warming up, we're stretching. We're not sitting in a classroom very tense and feeling, wow, am I not good enough? Should I feel stupid because I don't know this? We're all stretching, really relaxed, and learning. And oftentimes I think the kids don't even realize it because the pressure's not on them, and that was really the intention of what our curriculum was setting out to accomplish. We also do community activities. For instance, we clean the park. So my older kids and my younger kids, they pair up, a middle school and elementary school kid. They get together and they clean up the park. So first of all, it's a responsibility of the middle school kid. All of a sudden they're important because they're responsible for somebody. And they're cleaning up their community. And they're doing something important to really get them feeling empowered and feeling like they have something to offer to the community. So we're definitely using soccer as the tool, but it's a holistic approach to dealing with the kid. I think that these kids were surprised to see that adults were caring about them and that wanted to help them. And these community members that were getting involved were very touched by the gratitude that these kids were getting, even for bringing water, for carpooling the kids to the games, for advocating for field space, for contributing financially or whatever that it might be, for uniforms, for cleats. The kids were very grateful, and I think it did a lot for their confidence. And it did a lot for the community to empower themselves of feeling what can they do tangibly in their own power to make a difference in their community. And YALLA is just one of the opportunities for these community members to really step up and to make a difference and to do something. So, we need every community member to step up, to do whatever they can, whether it's provide nutrition for the kids, whether it's to provide water for the kids, whether it's to take on the challenge of being a coach and being a leader for a group of refugee children. Whatever that might be, there's so many levels that the community can get involved with. What we're trying to do is to bring the community in and let them know, like, you have a chance to do your part, which will tie into many community members' little parts that will be a big difference for us. Bringing the water, bringing the snacks, volunteer coaching, being a leader, being a role model for these kids is so important for the community and so important for the children that words cannot bring it justice. You have to go out there and you have to see firsthand what this community needs. And really, oftentimes, we need these kids more than they need us. But it takes the community to get out there to really realize that dynamic.